From Forgotten to Unforgettable. How I Found Love at 81. Hello, my name is Harold, and I need you to listen carefully to what I'm about to share. If you're watching this alone, feeling like life has passed you by, I have news that may shock you. Not only did I get my manhood back at 81 without pills or injections, but I married an energetic, beautiful 50-year-old woman who was choosing younger men. Stay with me to the end, because what I'm going to tell you about is not taught by doctors, and certainly not told in glossy brochures for pensioners. This is real life, my life, and it can be yours too. 3 years ago, I was where many of you find yourselves now. Widowed after 52 years of marriage, living in a house full of memories, but empty of touch. My children visited me on an obligation. My friends, the few still alive, spoke only of illness and medication. And my body? It betrayed me in the most serious way a human being can be betrayed. It's normal for your age, my doctor said, barely lifting his eyes from his book. We can try pills, but with your heart condition. He fell silent, already writing prescriptions for my realistic expectations. I walked out of his office feeling like I had been given a different kind of death sentence. Not life, but life. To be a man. That night I pondered what was left of my existence. Wake up, take pills, watch TV, go to sleep, repeat until I die. Is this what 81 years on this earth has brought me? Slowly fading into invisibility. Then something happened that I can only call divine intervention. While sorting through old boxes, I found a dusty book that had belonged to my father. Physical Training for the Aging Man, published in 1938. Inside were exercises specifically designed to maintain what the book delicately referred to as male vitality, well into old age. The exercises were simple, almost outrageously so. No equipment, no exertion or dangerous movements, just specific, purposeful movements that took less than 7 minutes each morning. The book claimed that these exercises were developed from studying cultures in which men retained full capacity until the age of 90. What did I have to lose? My dignity was already hanging by a thread. The first week was discouraging. Nothing was happening except mild soreness. The second week I started sleeping better, a small victory, but hardly the transformation I had hoped for. By the third week, however, something had changed. I felt an alertness I hadn't felt in years. My morning vigor returned, weakly at first, then with increasing vigor. By the 6th week, I had experienced what you might call a renaissance, not just physically, but in every aspect of my being. I began to stand straighter. My voice became deeper. I began to feel present in my body again, rather than trapped in a dysfunctional vessel. Most surprisingly, people began to react to me differently. The cashier who used to look right through me now gave me a stare. My hairdresser suggested a younger haircut. A neighbor asked me to help move furniture, something no one had asked me to do in 10 years. "There's something different about you, Dad," my daughter said during her monthly visit. "You look, I don't know, more alive." She was right. I was more alive. And for the first time since my wife died, I began to think again about the possibility of socializing. Then I made a second discovery. Senior dance classes at the community center. I had never danced, but the new Harold was willing to risk the awkwardness. What's a little awkwardness compared to the years of isolation I'd already endured? The first class was terrifying. I was the oldest by at least 10 years. Women outnumbered men 3 to 1, and I could feel their appraising looks on me as I entered the classroom. Not with desire, as I'd assumed, but with desperation for a pulse dancing partner. Then I saw her. Catherine, 50 years old, recently divorced after her husband of 25 years left her for his assistant. She stood apart from the others, elegant and demure. Too young for this crowd, I thought. Too beautiful for an old man's fantasies. But when the music started, something extraordinary happened. Exercise not only restored my physical function, it gave me back my confidence. Without hesitation, I approached Catherine. "Would you do me the honor of doing this dance?" I asked, my voice smooth and deep. She looked at me surprised, then with curiosity. "It would be my pleasure," she said. We moved together as if we'd been dancing for years. Other couples gave way to us, sensing that something unusual was happening. When the song ended, she lingered in my arms a moment longer than necessary. "You're not what I expected," she said. "What did you expect?" I asked. "Someone older." She smiled. "You move like a much younger man." That night began a courtship that defied all convention. Our age difference caused bewilderment and whispers. Her children were suspicious, my children were shocked. Friends on both sides questioned our sanity. But in private, we discovered a connection beyond the numbers. Catherine wasn't looking for a father figure or a bank account, and I wasn't looking for a nurse or a trophy. We'd both lived long enough to know what a genuine connection is when we find one. "What's your secret?" she asked one night, resting her head on my chest. Most men half your age don't have that kind of enthusiasm. I told her about the exercises. She laughed at first, but then realized I was being serious. "That's it? No pills? No injections? Just 7 minutes every morning," I said, and the courage to believe I'm not done yet. 6 months later, we were married in a small ceremony by the lake. Her children attended reluctantly. Mine came with expressions of bewildered support, but as Catherine and I recited our vows, something changed in the atmosphere. This wasn't a joke or a desperate longing for youth. It was love, unexpected, unconventional, but undeniably real. We've been married for 2 years now. We travel, we dance, we make love with a frequency and passion that would shock the experts who have written me off. And yes, I still do my 7-minute exercise routine, every morning while Catherine sleeps next to me. I tell this story not to brag, but because I know how many of you have been told that your best days are behind you. How many of you sit alone, believing that certain joys are now out of reach for you? How many of you have resigned yourself to limitations that are not really due to age, but to humility? The exercises I have discovered are not magical or mystical. They are based on sound physiological principles that modern medicine, in the rush to prescribe pills, has managed to forget. They work by improving specific blood flow, gently strengthening critical muscle groups, and stimulating the natural production of hormones that your body is still capable of, regardless of age. In next week's video, I'll show the exact 7-minute routine that changed my life. Nothing extra, just simple, worthwhile instructions you can follow from the comfort of your own home. No equipment, no dangerous strain, just moves specifically designed for men our age. Before you begin the class, I want you to realize one important thing. What happened to me can happen to you, not because I'm some special person, but because I refuse to accept that my story is over. The human body has an amazing ability to regenerate at any age if properly stimulated. If you're sitting here alone and feeling like life has passed you by, I'm living proof that it hasn't. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or older, you're not done with life until you decide you're done with it yourself. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's in-depth guide. And please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story matters, and your future may be much brighter than you think. Remember, gentlemen, it's not your age that defines your masculinity, it's your rejection of it. Until next time, Harold.